Thank you. Last speaker is regional representative. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Chair. Regional representatives are elected by 6 regions to connect civil society groups with the UN environment and UNEA process. We represent Africa, Asia Pacific, Europe, Latin America and the Caribbean, North America and West Asia regions. Through the outcomes of regional consultation meetings, we have identified several common and cross-cutting issues that undermine efforts towards ensuring a pollution-free planet and the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. In cooperation with the global major groups and stakeholders, we bring the voice of the grassroots communities that are affected by environmental destructions and pollutions across the earth to the UNEA process. We urge UN Environment and its regional offices to support civil society engagement in all regions, pointing to the example of Asia-Pacific Regional Civil Society Engagement Mechanism, which is a proven process for advancing strategic issues through bottom-up organizations by civil society, built on principles of transparency, accountability, and inclusiveness. We would like to highlight clear calls on specific actions, which have come out of our regional consultations. We urge you to implement a human rights-based approach to ending pollution, take swift action to the end of extrajudicial killings and forced displacements of communities. We call for a global agreement to combat air pollution. We ask for the state and corporate accountability, upholding the polluter pays principle, and respecting environmental limits, providing strict regulation of extractive industries, whose activities often have devastating impacts on communities and livelihoods when regulatory protections do not exist or not are enforced. We want an equitable transition to sustainable and community-driven economies, creating decent and green jobs, protecting livelihoods, and providing universal social stability for all, reflecting gender equality. We are very concerned about the environmental impacts of the current liberalized model of trade and investment agreements. We support green and socially just trade, rules to limit e-waste being sent from the high-income countries to low-income countries, and other means of creating a just and equitable global society. We call on UNEA to direct UN Environment to support investigative missions on the environmental consequences of current conflicts, which are placing extreme stress on the natural resources and ecosystems and resulting in refugee crises in different regions. Lastly, the UNEA process should be upheld principles of inclusive participation, including ethical rules for partnerships between UN Environment and the private sector. Muchas gracias, Chair.